Hey there, movie fans. Welcome to the Blues of July 2017. First up, I'd like to give a big shout out and a big thank you to Carlos, aka Eastwood for Life fan, for selling me this out of print Wild East DVD. Don't Turn the Other Cheek, aka Long Live Your Dead. Now, usually with these out of print DVDs from Wild East, they go for crazy money, but Carlos sold me this for a very good and a very friendly price. So thank you very much again, Carlos. It's just very, very generous of you. And it has been on my wish list, but I missed out on it. But thanks to Carlos, I actually got it. Now this is a Italian Western comedy starring Franco Nero, Eli Wallach, and Lynn Redgrave, who was Franco Nero's sister-in-law, by the way. He's married to Vanessa Redgrave. I say was because Lynn Redgrave is not alive anymore. She passed away several years ago. But it was fun. It was a fun, enjoyable movie. Flawed at times, but still a lot of fun. And it's about, Franco Nero plays a Russian prince, Wallach plays a Mexican bandit, and Lynn Redgrave plays an Irish journalist, and they all three are looking for gold that is hidden somewhere in Mexico. Takes place during the Mexican Revolution. Here's a look at the inside, by the way. And this is the uncut version, and it says here, it contains 70 minutes of subtitled Youre footage restored to complete the print. Now these footage that has been added to this film, they are in Italian language with English subtitles, and that might put off some people, but it's the most complete version there is out there. And yeah, thanks again, Carlos. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much for thinking of me and selling me this title. It was a very enjoyable film. Thank you. And I picked up another Wild East DVD myself, and this is a double feature, a Robert Hundar double feature with Ramon the Mexican and California. I got this mainly for California. Hundar, is a very familiar face from the European westerns. There's a picture of him on the disc. There he is. He was also in Sabata and Cutthroats 9. But like I said, I got this mainly for California, which came out in 1977. And Italian westerns were coming to an end around that time. Although, according to some people, spaghetti westerns was already dead when California was released. But there were some filmmakers who still believed in it and who was trying to, keep it alive with this film, and also with Keoma, Four of the Apocalypse, Manaja, Man Called Blade. But shortly after those films were released, spaghetti westerns was as good as dead, unfortunately. Now this film was directed by Mikel Lupo, who made more movies with Giuliano Gemma, including Arizona Colt, also known as The Man from Nowhere. And he also made some movies with Bud Spencer as well. But this is a very good film, but also very sinister and pessimistic. So you won't have a happy time watching it, but it's very good. And I still need to see this one, but this looks like a good film as well. It says here, based on the characters on Ramon Rojo and his brothers from A Fistful of Dollars. I believe that is Jean Maria Volante's character, the villain from the film. And speaking of Jean Maria Volante, he's also in this fantastic spaghetti western, Face to Face, co-starring Tomas Milian, another great actor, passed away recently, earlier this year. This is the German Blu-ray, and this is the best one out there, by the way. And it's limited to 1,000. My number is 720, as you can see. What a wonderful release, this one. Also has a little booklet there. Fantastic film by Sergio Solima, with beautiful music by Ennio Morricone. And by the way, Volante and Milian, they didn't really get along very well. I mean, they had different political opinions. Volante was an outspoken communist, while Milian fled a communist country, Cuba. So, you know, in that case, they didn't really get along. But they deliver outstanding performances in this film. They're both very good in it. I did a video of my Western collection some weeks ago, and some people were recommending titles to me that I didn't have yet. And these were two of them. This is No Name on the Bullet with Audrey Murphy. Very, very good little Western, this one. Directed by Jack Arnold, who was mostly known as the director of science fiction and monster films from the 1950s, such as It Came from Outer Space, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Tarantula, The Incredible Shrinking Man. But this was really good, really good. Great role, by the way, by Audrey Murphy. And Gunman's Walk, which was another great one as well, with Van Heflin, who was also in Shane and 3:10 to Yuma. He plays a ranger who's trying to control his eldest son, played by Tab Hunter, who's a real troublemaker. This one was directed by Phil Coulson, who's not a household name in Hollywood, but he made some very good films like Kansas City Confidential, The Phoenix City Story, Kid Galahad, the one with Elvis Presley, not the original with Edward G. Robinson. And he also made Ben, the sequel to Willard. And there's another name that caught my eye, and that is Frank Nugent. Now, if you're a true fan of American Westerns, then this name ought to sound familiar to you. Nugent was the screenwriter of many John Ford films, including The Searchers, Fort Apache, Three Godfathers, Two Rode Together, Wagon Master, Seaward Yellow Ribbon. You know, he did many great films with John Ford. He was a fantastic screenwriter, and he delivered a fantastic screenplay of Gunman's Walk. Now these are German Blu-rays, by the way, as well as this one. This is a Western that I've never heard of before, to be honest. It's Run for Cover with James Cagney. Cagney, you know, he's mostly known for his gangster films here from the 1930s and 40s, and crime films and musicals as well. But he never did many Westerns. I believe he only made 3 Westerns. But it's a good one. It's a really good one. And directed by Nicholas Ray, who's another extraordinary filmmaker, who also made Rebel Without a Cause, They Live by Night, Johnny Guitar, another excellent Western, King of Kings, and many other great films. But it was a good one, a good film. Also with Ernest Borgnine in a small role. And here is yet another German Blu-ray of an American Western, Lawman, with Burt Lancaster, Robert Ryan, Lee J. Cobb. And I love the artwork on this. Very beautiful artwork. Michael Winner made this film, by the way. I've seen this one before years ago, and it's still a good film. And these two would make a great double feature. I mean, they're both about a man coming to a town, and he's making it, you know, the people of this town very nervous. And both movies even has a scene where some of the townspeople are forming a mob, and they're trying to get this man out of their town or kill him if necessary. And they fail in doing that. Okay, I picked up some Arrow Blu-rays, and the first 2 are film noir classics that stars the same 3 actors, Alan Ladd, Veronica Lake, and William Bendix. They are the Glass Key and the Blue Dahlia. And the boat has, I'm very happy with that, the boat has booklets in there. I did not really expect that they had booklets in there, because these Blu-rays has been out for a while, but yeah, they still have it. I'm very happy that it had booklets in there. But anyway, the Glass Key is about a crooked political boss played by Brian Donlevy, who's being accused of a murder, and his right-hand man, played by Alan Ladd, is investigating the murder to prove his boss is innocent. It's based on the story of by Dashiell Hammett, the author of The Maltese Falcon. And the story also inspired the Coen brothers when they were making Miller's Crossing. Alan Ladd and Veronica Lake made 7 films together throughout the 1940s, and 3 of them are film noirs. These 2 and This Gun for Hire, which came out in the same year as The Glass Key, 1942. I have that one on DVD, by the way. And William Bendix, this man, he was a very underrated actor, in my opinion. There's a scene in this film between Bendix and Alan Ladd, somewhere near the end, which is definitely my favorite scene in the entire film. And it shows what a great actor Bendix really was. But yeah, this was a wonderful film. And so is this one, The Blue Dahlia, which is story-wise similar to The Glass Key. It's about a man being accused of murder. This time it's Alan Ladd himself. And he's trying to do everything to prove he's innocent. And this is another wonderful noir thriller. And another fine performance by Bendix as Alan Ladd's brain-damaged war buddy. Now this was written by Raymond Chandler, who, like Dashiell Hammett, was a well-known, hard-boiled crime writer. He's the creator of the famous private detective Philip Marlowe, and he wrote books and screenplays such as Double Indemnity, The Long Goodbye, The Big Sleep, Strangers on the Train by Hitchcock. And he was hired by Paramount to come up with an original screenplay, an original idea, an original screenplay. And he had a very short period of time to write it, because Alan Ladd was available for a very short period of time. He was on leave from the army. And they were shooting the movie while he was still writing the screenplay, but he managed to finish it on time. And you can actually read more about it in the booklet, which also tells a little about his drinking problem that eventually killed him. And Chandler did like the movie, but he didn't like Veronica Lake very much. And I sort of understand why. I mean, I do like Veronica Lake. I think she was a classy lady with an iconic look. I mean, with her hair kind of covering half of her face, that inspired the people who created Jessica Rabbit, by the way. But she wasn't a very good actress, and honestly, there's hardly a chemistry between her and Alan Ladd, so I never really understood why they made so many films together. Later on, I found out that the real reason, apparently, of their many collaborations is that Alan Ladd was a short guy. And apparently Veronica Lake was the only lead actress working at Paramount who was shorter than him. Also picked up the Arrow version of Pulse. This is the original Japanese version, not the crappy American remake and its sequels. Now this is a fantastic horror film with some generally creepy moments in it. I'm glad it has a release that it deserves, a Blu-ray release. Excellent film, excellent film. Also has Evil Ed, which was very strange but very fun. I mean, you can clearly tell that the guys who made this film knows their classics. and they had fun making it. It says here that it was, you know, clearly it was inspired by The Evil Dead and Reanimator and Peter Jackson's early horror comedies. But there was also a little, Frank Henenlotter vibe to it, in my opinion. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, and a beautiful release as well. It also has the never before seen extended 3-hour making of documentary. I have not seen that one yet. And I also got Nikatsu Diamond Guys Volume 2, which has Tokyo Mighty Guy, Danger Pays, and Murder Unincorporated, films with Akira Kobayashi and Joe Cicito. Yeah, I thought, you know, I better get this one before it goes out of print. I don't know how many copies there are left, but this is limited to 3,000. And I have Volume 1 as well. And I do enjoy these, you know, these early 1960s Nikatsu films. And speaking of Nikatsu, Seijun Suzuki made a few films for them, including Tokyo Drifter and Brandon to Kill, and that last one resulted in Suzuki being fired by Nikatsu Studios because they weren't exactly happy with the film, so they shelved it. But then there was a lawsuit that Suzuki won. But anyway, long story short, Suzuki ended up being fired, and he did not direct another film in the next 10 years. But during those 10 years, he created and developed the stories of the first 2 films of the Taisho trilogy, together with a couple of other guys. And he came up with the idea of part 3 later on. But this is a very, very beautiful box set, by the way. I got this from the Arrow web shop, and I used up my my discount points. You know, I used them on 2 box sets, this one and the new Battles Without Honor and Humanity, which is coming out very soon. So this box set cost me under 10 euros, believe it or not. So that's just insane, right? And let me show you what the inside looks like. I haven't seen any of these films, so I cannot say anything about them, but they do look very interesting. They all take place in the Taisho era, that was from 1912 to 1926, I believe. There's the other artwork, by the way. Oh, by the way, the first movie is called Zigeunerweisen, which is German for Gypsy Exhibit, I believe. And then this is the second one. This is Kajiroza. Show the other artwork on that. Here it is. Each of them has introduction by Tony Raines, who is really a specialist in the Japanese cinema. And this is the last one, or the third and last film, Jumanji. I always want to say Jumanji, but that's something completely different, of course. But this looks very interesting, very interesting. And of course it has the booklet as well. Nice artwork on that. And there's the director, Suzuki, who passed away earlier this year. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to watch these films. These Blu-rays I got for dirt cheap. They were €2 each. First one is All Is Lost with Robert Redford. Still, I need to see this one, but this is I heard this is a really good film. This is The Man from U.N.C.L.E., which is of course a movie version of the 1960s TV series with Robert Vaughn. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, but it will not become a franchise. I believe that was the idea of making a franchise of the Man from U.N.C.L.E. But it didn't do very well. Another bummer for Guy Ritchie. Earlier this year, he wanted to create a franchise with the King Arthur film, but that one didn't do well either. So I do like Guy Ritchie as a director. I do hope he will make some successful films in the future. And the other one is The Help, which I enjoyed as well. I know it's a chick flick, but hey, it's a very good film. And €2, I couldn't pass that up. Next is Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker, which is officially known as Night Warning. Here's the other poster art right here. But this is exclusively available at diabolicdvd.com, and a couple of months ago I bought the DVD from them. Now I'm pretty sure, well, it's pure speculation, but I'm 99.99% sure that Diabolic or Code Red or both, clearly these two companies are in cahoots, or else this Blu-ray would never have been exclusively available at Diabolic. But I'm pretty sure that they had some DVD copies left, and they wanted to get rid of them first before announcing the Blu-ray. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is what they did. When I saw the DVD on their site, I was like, I better get one before it's too late, because they go for crazy money. And it was this one copy per customer deal. And a while later, when all the DVDs were gone, they come up with a Blu-ray. So I'm one of the idiots who fell for it, those cheating motherfuckers. But I do have to say that it is worth upgrading. It has a beautiful 2K scan print. It looks gorgeous. It absolutely does, and it's a very entertaining, obscure early '80s horror film with a great role by Susan Tyrrell. It also has a small role by Bill Paxton there. And speaking of Bill Paxton, I also got Trespass, which is a 1990s version of the Treasure of the Sierra Madre. Bill Paxton and William Sadler play two firemen who get hold of a treasure map, and the treasure is hidden inside an abandoned building in the middle of a neighborhood that is in the hands of this gang led by Ice-T, with Ice Cube as his right-hand man. But this is a solid action thriller by Walter Hill, written by Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis. I mean, we all know Robert Zemeckis, right? I mean, these are the two guys who did the Back to the Future trilogy. But I think they wrote the first version of the screenplay before Back to the Future. They wrote it in the 1970s, I believe. But yeah, excellent film. This is the Tom Cruise Blu-ray collection, which I got for €20, which is very cheap, by the way, especially if you consider that each of these films, or the Blu-rays of each of these films, is about €10, so could not pass this one up. But it has a nice ditchy book. The first one is Top Gun, which is a classic, of course. They're gonna do the sequel within 2 years' time, I believe. Collateral, also a good one. I read that Adam Sandler was at one point considered to play the role of the cab driver, the character that Jamie Foxx ended up playing. And I don't know if that was a rumor, but whatever it was, I'm very happy he never got the part. I mean, just imagine Adam Sandler in this movie. You cannot imagine it, can you? You cannot take it seriously. The Firm. I haven't seen that one in a long time. I believe that was the first or second of the John Grisham movies. I mean, this one came out in the same year as The Pelican Brief. And I don't know which one was released first. But movie adaptations on John Grisham's books were very popular in the 1990s, and after that it just stopped. I guess Hollywood was not interested anymore. War of the Worlds, an extraordinary version by Steven Spielberg, but I do prefer the 1953 Byron Haskin, George Pell version. And the last one is Days of Thunder, which I enjoyed very much. I mean, Quentin Tarantino is a big fan of this film. He described it as a Sergio Leone car race movie, which, what he means by that is that if Leone made a movie about car racing, it would look something like this. He also said that Days of Thunder is better than Grand Prix and Le Mans with Steve McQueen. Now, I enjoyed it a lot, this film, but better than Grand Prix and Le Mans? I don't know about that. Also picked up the German steelbook of Jack Reacher, Never Go Back. The movie was, it was okay. I really liked the first one. I mean, the first one was surprisingly good. And this is a step back. Well, actually, it's many steps back. I think it misses Christopher McQuarrie's touch, who wrote and directed the first movie. He only co-produced this one. Or they chosen the wrong book. I don't know how many Jack Reacher books there are. I guess about 20. But I'm sure there are better books than the one they've picked out to make this movie. So next time, choose a better book. If there is going to be a next time, because I heard this didn't do very well. And last but not least, I got the Sinbad Trilogy from Indicator. What a fantastic release. I had the chance to get the Twilight Time Blu-rays of the Sinbad Trilogy, but I kind of thought, I already have these movies on DVD, and there's no point of me in upgrading them. But then I saw this box set from Indicator, and I was like, man, I just had to get them. I have to get them. This looks absolutely stunning. It's a stunning release. And I did also pre-order the other Indicator box set of Ray Harryhausen, which is coming out later this year. Yeah, it's great, absolutely great. And of course, you had the booklet as well with Sir Ray Harryhausen on the front and the back. There's Patrick Wayne, by the way, as Sinbad, one of John Wayne's son. And of course, there's the first Sinbad movie that Harryhausen made. There's some artwork that he made as well. Beautiful artwork, by the way. Yeah, what a release. What a release. Absolutely beautiful. Well, that is it for my July update. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye.